In the early 9th century, the city of Constantinople stood as one of the most powerful capitals in the world. Golden domes shined under the sun, and the great cathedral of Hagia Sophia dominated the skyline. This was the heart of the Byzantine Empire, a place where religion and imperial power were deeply connected. But behind the beauty of this great city, the empire was facing serious danger. Enemies surrounded Byzantium. From the north, the Bulgarian armies pushed closer to the capital. From the east, forces of the Arab Caliphate raided the empire's borders. The empire was weak, and its ruler at the time, Emperor Michael I, struggled to control the crisis. In the year 813, disaster struck. The Byzantine army faced the Bulgarians at the Battle of Versinikia. Instead of victory, the empire suffered a crushing defeat. The army broke apart, soldiers fled the battlefield, and Emperor Michael lost the trust of his own men. Among those soldiers was a strong and experienced commander named Leo, an Armenian officer known for his courage and skill in battle. After the defeat, the army gathered in their camp. Angry soldiers and worried generals realized the empire needed a new leader, so they made a bold decision. They lifted Leo onto their shields and proclaimed him emperor. Soon after, Leo entered Constantinople and was officially crowned in Hagia Sophia. But from the beginning, there was tension between the new emperor and the powerful church leaders. Leo was first and foremost a soldier, not a religious scholar, and his rule quickly proved to be strong and decisive. When the Bulgarian king Khan Krum threatened Constantinople, Leo personally organized the defense of the city. Through careful planning and strong leadership, he pushed the enemy back and protected the capital. He also turned his attention eastward. Arab forces were raiding the empire's provinces, burning villages and attacking towns. Leo responded with military campaigns that restored order to the border regions. Slowly, the empire became stronger again, but Leo believed the empire's troubles had a deeper cause. While studying old historical records, he noticed something that convinced him of a dangerous idea. He believed that God had punished the empire because people were worshipping religious images, known as icons. These icons, paintings and mosaics of Christ and the saints, were deeply loved by the people. But Leo believed that honoring them had become a form of idolatry. In 815, he made a dramatic decision. The emperor banned the worship of religious images across the entire empire. This movement became known as iconoclasm, meaning the destruction of icons. Soon soldiers entered churches and monasteries. Beautiful mosaics were smashed, painted icons were burned, golden frames were melted down for the imperial treasury. Many monks protested strongly against these actions. Some were arrested. Others were exiled far from Constantinople. The empire became deeply divided. Some people supported Leo's reforms, believing they would restore God's favor. But others believed the emperor was destroying sacred traditions. Monasteries were especially powerful institutions at the time. They owned large lands and great wealth. Leo moved against them as well. Monastic lands were taken by the state and given to the army. Gold and silver for religious objects were turned into new coins. As a result, the imperial treasury grew stronger. The army became better organized and better equipped. From a political and military point of view, Leo's reforms strengthened the empire, but socially and religiously, they created deep anger and division. Among Leo's strongest opponents was a famous monk named Theodore the Studite, who led resistance against the emperor's policies. Even the Pope in Rome condemned Leo's actions, creating tension between the Eastern and Western Christian worlds. Yet Leo remained confident. For 7 years, he ruled the empire with determination, believing he was saving Byzantium. But danger was growing much closer to him than he realized. One of the conspirators against him was a man named Michael the Amorian. Ironically, Michael had once been Leo's close friend and fellow soldier. They had fought side by side in earlier campaigns, but now their friendship had turned into rivalry. When Leo discovered Michael's plot, he ordered him arrested and thrown into prison. The emperor planned to execute him soon, but Michael still had supporters, and they were ready to act. On Christmas Eve in the year 820, Emperor Leo entered the great cathedral of Hagia Sophia to attend the Christmas service. The cathedral was full of worshippers holding candles. Priests chanted prayers as the ceremony began. Hidden among the crowd were men disguised as monks. These men were the conspirators. At the right moment, they rushed toward the emperor. Swords appeared from beneath their robes. Leo reacted like the soldier he had always been. He grabbed a large ceremonial cross and used it as a weapon, fighting against his attackers. But there were too many of them. Inside the most sacred church of the empire, the emperor was cut down. When the violence ended, Leo V lay dead on the floor of Hagia Sophia, surrounded by the light of Christmas candles. That same night, the conspirators freed Michael the Amorian from prison. Still wearing chains on his wrists, he was quickly crowned as the new emperor, Michael II. Leo's reign had ended in violence. Yet his legacy did not disappear. The policy of iconoclasm continued for many years after his death. Churches remained without their sacred images, and the empire stayed divided. Finally, in the year 843, icons were officially restored by Empress Theodora, ending the long religious conflict. Today, the great building of Hagia Sophia still stands in modern Istanbul. Tourists walk through the same space where Emperor Leo once ruled, and where he met his violent end. The mosaics that were destroyed long ago have been restored, and history remembers Leo V as a complex figure. To some, he was a harsh ruler who persecuted the church. To others, he was a determined reformer who helped save the Byzantine Empire from collapse. Either way, his story reminds us of one powerful truth. In history, the struggle between power, faith, and reform can change empires and shape the world for centuries.